What's up, guys? This is gonna be another episode of LIMP Top. I just want to talk about some Square Enix stuff. I don't know about y'all, but man, this company seems to have gone downhill in my opinion. I mean, I'm back from, the PlayStation 1, Super Nintendo days when Squaresoft, was making pretty good titles. I was mainly using Final Fantasy for a while, but I remember when PS1, they started making, Parasite Eve games, like Parasite Eve 1, Parasite Eve 2. I think they even made a Parasite Eve 3, but that came later on, like on a Vita or PSP, something like that. It wasn't that good. Anyway, but Squaresoft started taking more risks in their formula. They started doing like top-down isometric Resident Evil type games, which were the Parasite games. Were really good games that had supernatural power, but had the Resident Evil feel, tank controls. I don't know, it just played beautifully. Great game. But nowadays it seems like Squaresoft or Square Enix, I'm sorry, is like Hitman. Hitman Absolution was absolute shit. What else they have? They got Final Fantasy 14, which is it's an alright game, I guess, but I'm not too much of an MMO fan. And then you got the Final Fantasy 13 series, 1, 2, and 3. It's a 3-part series. To me, I think that's a bit overdone. I mean, Final Fantasy is fun and all, but what they gave us in 13, I hated it. I don't know, that's personal opinion, of course, but man, I hated that. It was just absolute shit. It was boring, hand-holding, and I had a lot of people telling me that, if you played 13 hours or so, then, they stop holding your hand, they let you more freedom to engage in with the environment, move around, pretty much do whatever the hell you wanted to do, which is fine, but I don't feel like putting 13 hours into a game just so I can actually experience the game myself. That and it seemed the combat system was just way too simplistic. Now, I'm going off on a tangent here because, I didn't like the game, and I was very disappointed in it. But that's not what we're here. We're here to talk about Square Enix. Alright, so now that we're back on the subject of Square Enix, I'm pulling up, right now you can't see me doing it, but of course I'm pulling it up right now, seeing their game list, and there's literally nothing worth playing. What you have Final Fantasy Type 0 HD, which is a remake back of a PSP game, whoop-de-doo. You see all the Final Fantasy 13 shit over here on sale for this their Christmas sale. The main reason this came up was because I'm subscribed with Square Enix as a newsletter. So the last 10 days he kept sending me emails advertising all these games. It's like, oh man, all these games for free, or not for free, but discounted, this and that, limited time discounts. But every single deal that they had was absolute shit. Steam blew that deal out of the water. I mean, the only deal that was worth mentioning was Just Cause 3, which was 25% off. But I mean, if you don't really care about giving money to the developer, you can always go to G2A, and G2A is what? I think it's $29.99 right now on G2A. That's about 50% off. And you know why it's that price? Because the game fucking sucks. I mean, no offense to anybody that really likes Just Cause 3, but I mean, it's a sandbox game. There's really nothing to it. If you think you're gonna get like a really intuitive time, any kind of story, you're not. Of course, but then again, you kind of know this. But I see a lot of YouTubers making it seem a lot more than what it is, and really it's just to blow shit up, and it's not that fun after a while. The graphics don't look that good. As far as explosions, they look pretty shitty. I mean, Battlefield 4 had better explosions than Just Cause 3, but hey, going off on a tangent again, sorry. So let's get back to the issue at hand, Square Enix. And the thing is, it's just, I'm not mad at Square Enix, I'm just disappointed. Because I'm looking back at all the Squaresoft games, all the beautiful RPGs, JRPGs that they had, and let's just go over them really quick, fast. Final Fantasy 7, alright, great, no remaking it, it's probably going to be absolute shit, I'm still going to buy it, whatever. Chrono Trigger, hey, not too bad, there is a kind of a minor remake coming into that. Final Fantasy 8, just skip all the Final Fantasy's crap. Skipping Secret of Mana. I didn't even realize that Squaresoft made Secret of Mana. That technically is still their IP. Square Enix could totally bring Secret of Mana back, or the Tree of Mana, any of the fucking Mana games back. They were great action RPGs, I guess you can say. I mean, they're like, they fall under the umbrella of Tales, like the Tales of Symphonia games. And then of course they got the Kingdom Hearts, which is a Squaresoft game actually, and then became Square Enix. And that's coming out, which is, I have high hopes for that too. It's going to be Unreal 4, so it might look pretty good, it might be pretty good storyline. Mind you, I didn't play any of the 7 games that they have out. They had like 2 on Game Boy Advance, 1 on DS, 2 on DS, 1 on PSP. Anyway, digressing, sorry. What else we got? We got Chrono Cross. Great game. Now I'm not saying Squaresoft made all great games. They had some pretty shitty ones. The Bouncer, that's a pretty shitty game. Brave Fencer Musashi. That was a pretty fun game back in the day. Bushido Blade. I didn't even realize Bushido Blade was a Squaresoft game. So that means Square Enix owns that IP, but they don't do anything with it. Bushido Blade was such a great game. If you've never played it, you're missing out. It's like one of the only 3D fighters where you can essentially get an instant kill, depending if your character or if the opponent isn't blocking, your sword just cuts right through them. It's the most realistic 3D fighter that you can ever get on the PlayStation. But do they do anything with these powerful, really well-established IPs? Maybe not so established in the States, but people know them. You know, they have a cult following. Front Mission 3, they of course released Front Mission 4, was absolute garbage, but at least he tried to do something. But it seems like, you know, when they failed, they didn't come back. They could have come back. They could have put more effort into the game, got back more to the core concept of Front Mission 3 over 4. But no, it seems like they're just throwing away all their IPs. And to be fair, they have every right to throw away all their old IPs. I just wish that they didn't go completely to waste. Maybe if they got sold off to any other company, or any other company would be willing to buy them, it'd be nice. But right now, Square Enix is just kind of looks like they're milking the shit out of MMO. Their MMO, Final Fantasy 14, and Just Cause 3, which is still having a lot of problems, and I probably won't ever pick it up. Oh, well, that is unless the mod community makes it multiplayer. Then I can see the game actually being pretty fun, but until that happens, I would pass on it. Alright guys, well those are my thoughts, kind of jumbled and random and sporadic. Thanks for listening. Limp Thoughts. Peace.
And I love that I have an erection that didn't involve homeless people.